Hello, welcome to Tuesday with Toya. My name is Victoria Fragoso. I'm your host. You can call me Toya. And today we are interviewing Danny Kosmo from Seattle. Super excited. It is Tuesday, September 6th, and it's September already. I can't believe it. Welcome, Jeff. Hi, how's it going? So today I'll be performing some live music for you, and I'm going to be interviewing Danny. Hi, Danny. We're actually going to play one of his songs before we get him on the live stream, so that's going to be a little bit different this time. And really cool, I discovered him and his music on Instagram. It was the first time I saw him playing sax. I thought that was really cool and unique. So shout out to everybody playing sax and band right now. There's also another artist on Instagram that I wanted to introduce you guys to. His name is Arthur Sagami. He also plays sax and has done some pretty cool arrangements. So definitely check him out if you have the chance. It's Arthur, A-R-T-H-U-R, and then Sagami, S-A-G-A-M-I, if I'm saying that right. Anyway, big shout out to him and to all the sax players. So I'm going to start with some live music. You'll probably know this song. And if you want to invite somebody to watch some live music, now would be the time. I'm going to play 3 songs for you and then Danny's song before we get him on the live stream. All right. If you don't want to see me, did a full 180 crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe. Look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the word goodbye? Though it took some time to survive you, I'm better on the other side. I'm all good already, so moved on, it's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now, 'cause I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Thank you. Thanks, Find a Jason. Thanks for everybody listening and who joined. Sandra, Ian, Diachayo. Hi, Dad. And yeah, so that was my take of Dua Lipa. Don't Start Now. Also playing with some new effects on the piano as well. So we've got a lot of new today. It's very cool and exciting, but
but new. So just different than what we normally do. I've got a new ring light here. We're doing new earphones. So everything is a little different today, but I'm excited to try new things. Last week had such an awesome week. Super special in-person interview with Christina Hope. If you haven't checked out her music, it's incredible. She's just such an amazing performer and vocalist. And so we actually did that interview live at Q's Recording Studios in Tacoma. That was super fun. And last Saturday, a couple of days ago, I hosted a showcase at Sleight of Hand Sellers, and it was so much fun. So shout out to Sleight of Hand Sellers. Daniel, thank you so much. Justin Moran, Gabby Montoya of Gat Mooney, and then Colin Magdaz of Atomic Pines were playing. It was super fun. It was kind of like I think all of our music just really meshed well together. So it was a really fun night, Labor Day weekend. How was everybody's weekend? Please tell me. Leave a comment, by the way, if you joined the live. It helps for Instagram to know that people like and enjoy the show. And so it pushes it to suggest it to other people. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'm going to get into my second song, Non-Versations.
Gives many praises. Love gives many praises. Talks so sweet you taste that the sugar high I get when I breathe in. Love makes many changes. You find yourself in places you never thought you'd find yourself before. This non-versation is getting quite dangerous. How can I know what you're thinking for sure? This non-versation, I can't take it anymore. What are you making his eyes at me for? Love has many graces, you just can't look away. There's nothing like the sight of fire breaking night. Love has many faces, slurs you in with gazes till you can't see the exit anymore. This non-versation is getting quite dangerous. How can I know what you're thinking for sure? This non-versation, I can't take it anymore. What are you making those eyes at me for? Take my hand, close my eyes. This love, it makes me feel alive. Take my breath, close my mind. This love, it makes me feel. It's non-versation, I can't take it anymore. What are you making those eyes at me for? This non-versation is getting quite dangerous. How can I know what you're thinking for sure?
Thank you. Thanks for all the love. So the little hearts going up. I appreciate it. That's Non-Versations. It's a 2020 song. Wrote it in the midst of COVID and quarantine. And I think one of the inspirations was like what do you say to somebody when you've been spending all your time with them and you don't know what to say anymore? That's kind of how it started. But then obviously it evolved, and now it is what it is today. So check it out on anywhere you're streaming your music. It is available. It's the B-side of another track called Love Goes Free. That was super fun. It's a great collaboration. Will Bentley is doing vocals. He's also from Tacoma. And then another Tacoma artist, Sam Parker, did the guitar on that. So it was really fun and cool to work on that track with them. Yeah. And I'm going to play one last song before we play Danny's song, and then we'll get him onto the live so we can talk a little bit more. Just a little reminder, I am doing another podcast on Sunday, the 11th, with Serotonin Sunday is the show, and it's by singer-songwriter Dylan Dunlap. And so that's actually going to be on Twitter Spaces, so watch out for that. Sign up for my newsletter if you haven't already. That way you can know where all of these things are happening and get the links and all that good stuff. And there's a few other perks as well too, so check out my link in the bio, and then that should direct you fairly well. Yeah, all right, cool. Last song. Been a while. So another fun fact about Non-Versations is I wrote it and never really performed it, so that's been fun to start performing it. But this next song I performed a million times. I'm just wondering. Let's see here. Hi Candy, welcome.
I saw the lights, but I couldn't tell you what was wrong from what was right. But every time you say it's clear, it feels too soon to call what's fake and what is real. You make your mind and I'll make mine. You make your mind and I'll make mine. You chose your colors, all grays and blues. You paint sad stories with endings you won't admit you ever knew. At night I watch you drink away the bitterness. When I ask why, that's how it has to be. You say that's just the way it is. You make your mind, then I'll make mine. You make your mind, and I'll make mine. Do you mind? You've seen it once, so now you've seen it all.
Welcome, Ivan. Welcome, Marcio. How's it going? All right, perfect. So thanks so much for sticking around for the live performance. And now we'll get into the interview. We're just going to play Danny Kosmo's song. And we're just going to try it out. And if it doesn't work, then we'll just bring Danny on. So send all the good vibes and good positive wishes this way. Like I said, new technology. Yeah. So this is Danny Kosmo's song, Getting High. This is his last release, to give you a little bit of taste of what his music is like. Can everybody hear it?
I could do this on my own. Your love's not my only option. Still I'm always singing you melodies. Girl, you and the moon are the only ones I love. I just feel like I need to open up, feel you coursing through me. Cause touching you's like getting high. Something's happening in these flashing lights. I just wanna feel your body right. So bad, just bring it closer to me. Bring it closer to me. I want you all alone. I'm gonna leave you breathless. Put your hands all over me. We can take it nice and slow. Baby, you could be my temptress. If you wanna mix your energies. Girl, you and the moon are the only ones I love. I just feel like I need to open up, feel you coursing through me. Cause touching you's like getting high. Something's happening in these flashing lights. I just wanna feel your body right. So bad, just bring it closer to me. Bring it closer to me. Cause touching you's like getting high. Something's happening in these flashing lights. I just wanna feel your body right. So bad, just bring it closer to me. Bring it closer to me.
That'll work. I'm going to get Danny on the live stream now. Woohoo. Hey,
Hey, what's up?
how's it going?
It's good. I'm just at my mom's house in her yard, just soaking up the sun.
Yes, while we still have the weather.
Exactly. Hey, thanks to everybody who liked the song. I really appreciate it. If anyone follows me, I will follow you back and support your music. That's what me and Toya do, so don't be shy.
For sure. Yeah, so that song is also going to be on the upcoming album this Friday, right?
Yeah, and it'll be 17 songs.
It's a
So,
lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
How are you feeling?
Good. I'm stoked. It's been like 4 years, 5 years in the making, so excited to get it out and hopefully it does well. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, incredible. Thank you so much for sending me that secret early access. It was super cool to listen to all the songs, especially like it's surprising to me that it took 4 years because it all sounds very cohesive. Like all of the sounds like work well together. So, did you work a lot on the production or did you have someone else that helped with that or?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to run into my producer at a little show at the Edgewater Hotel, if anyone knows where that is. It's the waterfront in downtown Seattle. It's where like all the old rock stars used to stay in the 60s and 70s. Led Zeppelin's famous for like catching a fish out the window, and the Beatles too. But yeah, I ran into him there, did saxophone work for him, and then we made a single together called The Tropics, which will be on the album re-released. And then we did the whole project together. So that's why there's a lot of continuity in the sounds. He mainly does reggae and pop music, and I kind of pushed him into more like electronic, and I don't know, it gets a little country at times. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, it definitely has, like, I don't know if I would associate it with country, but definitely like that fun, like hip vibe, like more folk for sure.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Did you go into this knowing that you were going to create an album, especially with some of the songs that you've already released?
Yeah, the whole goal was to make an album, and then some of you on here are probably musicians as well, so you get it. Like, it's a long process. Sometimes people will tell you to just drop singles because that's more marketable, blah, blah, blah. And so some of them came out as singles, but they'll be on the album. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like marketing and technology and everything changes. So it's like, just make good art and then fingers crossed that people like it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I always wanted to make an album. I always feel like writing songs, like you guys probably feel, is like very much a personal journey. Sometimes the song is teaching me things. Sometimes I'm teaching other people through the songs. So this was like very much a journey of self-discovery, and my goal was to manifest paradise on earth. The album was going to be called Paradise, and instead it became Bloom, and it's just kind of about like blooming in the darkness and finding yourself. And yeah, it took me through some times, and I kind of documented it through the songs, I would
Really
say.
cool. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. It with the cohesive sound, and then you calling it like Paradise, it definitely feels like a very tropic, like fun. It's interesting that the other producer did reggae and pop, because I definitely hear that like really neat fusion with your music. And then you bring in the sax. Now tell me, when did you start playing the sax?
Yeah, when I was 10.
Cool.
So many years, too many years.
Did you always know that you were going to continue like playing the sax and like incorporate it into your other song, or how did that find its way into your music? Because I think that's really unique.
Great question. I actually started on saxophone and didn't start singing until I was like 19.
Wow.
So I used my saxophone as my voice, and so it's kind of been the opposite. It's been more like, I always liked poetry. I'm sure a lot of you guys who are songwriters can feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, someone commented, art greater than marketing. I love that. So yeah, I remember when I was 19, I was like, okay, if I start singing now, in 5 years, I'll be good. And that was like, 11 years ago or so. But yeah, sometimes it's more sax heavy. Some songs don't have saxophones. Some of them I play piano on them. Once you learn production or find someone you can work with, then you can kind of piece together things and play synthesizers or hand percussion or whatever and bring it all together. But the saxophone's been there since the beginning, I would say.
That's really cool. Yeah, I just love that. Can't wait to hear the album. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I just really love it. And I like what you were saying earlier about like, there is this big like marketing thing that it's better to release singles. And the reason why is you want something that's like consistent, but you have been consistently releasing singles and performing and things like that. So
yeah,
I think, you just as an artist have to follow your heart when it comes to like creation. Because even if you didn't release an album, but you created an album, you worked on the songs, like you're constantly working on your craft, and then taking it to the next level of production and making it all sound cohesive is such a big undertaking. I'm sure a lot of people really know the struggle it can take. I mean, years, or, if you spend that time though, how do you feel now, like completing it? Like, does it feel like it's really finished, or is it just you're ready for like the next chapter? What does it feel like?
A lot of people, including you, can probably relate to this, but it definitely, there's like some things where it's like, oh, I could go back and keep polishing it up or whatever. But there's also a really good middle ground that my producer taught me of like letting go, knowing when you catch a vibe, not over polishing it. It's more important to give a vibe and just like, yeah, good energy and something from the heart rather than something perfect, I would say, which is really clear. Like, you can tell that in any medium, you know, when someone's over photoshopping a photo or doctoring it, it loses a lot of its authenticity. But like a film photo or something can have a lot more vibe to it, you know. Or like the Beatles, for example, their old recordings were just a vibe and they weren't perfect, you know, and they've been remastering them lately and they lose a lot of their energy and sound and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you kind of have to know when to stop. And I use my intuition a lot to just try to be like, okay, this is good, let's go on to the next thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that I love what you're saying too, because it's true. I now that you're saying it, like going back and listening to older songs that have been remastered, there is something that like it loses part of its life somehow, or like that just
Yeah.
naturalness, which I think is why, you know, live shows and performances are so important, because that is essentially also that same vibe coming through. And especially when, you know, going through a crowd, like it becomes its own thing, and it's a moment, as opposed to just like something like a stationary picture that, like, you know, it's a living document of like what you've experienced, and just having the experience of producing the sound and making the album, and not always making it like 100% perfect. I see a good quote there: perfect is the enemy of good. Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. And that's a really good point, Toya. It's like a live performance is usually someone's favorite memory of a song, but it's usually the roughest version of it, you know?
Yeah.
But has the most vibe to it. So that's what really counts. It's like, I'm sure a lot of you guys who are songwriters can relate to, but it's like when someone messages me and says like, I listened to your song during this moment of my life, or when I was driving, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, that matters a lot more than streaming numbers.
Yeah.
It's easy to get distracted by streaming numbers, and it's painful when you have a song that you love and it only has 800 streams or 20 streams, but it's not really what matters. So
Right.
I just try to keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's great, especially because it's like if you're getting somebody telling you like, I've made a connection with this song, I've had this, you know, special moment with this song, versus like you're seeing like, well, like a lot of people listen to it, but if nobody's talking to me and telling me like how much they enjoyed it, at the same time, you're like, who did I really reach, and how did I like make an impact in their life, or touch them?
Yep, exactly. So even though, and obviously you want both, but
Right.
I just wanted to make something, and I'm sure you guys can relate to it too, that I'm proud of and will outlast me and be a statement and make a positive impact on people. And that's all I can do. And then market it the best I can with the money I have. But
Yeah.
all that matters is the art at the end of the day.
Right. Because I mean, you don't want to create this like great piece of art and then nobody sees it. Like there's just,
Yeah.
you've got to find the balance with what you're doing and making sure that you're, you know, sharing it appropriately, or asking other people to share it.
Yep. Someone said do the best you can.
Yes.
There you go. All you can do in every aspect, for sure.
For sure. And that's actually cousin Bad Habit. So I've actually worked with him in the past, and we have this conversation a lot of like, is it really like, it can't be perfect. So where is that point of like completion in terms of where do we stop and let it live in a different capacity, you know?
Yep.
Do you have a favorite single off of the album?
It changes a lot, but there's a song, I mean, you guys haven't heard it yet, but it's called Glow. And it's like, I wrote it about a goddess. So it's like, has a lot of vivid imagery, and I want to shoot the music video in Greece. That's my goal. And not like a big production or anything, but, and my producer's, father played on it. He played like really beautiful guitar on it, and he actually passed away since he recorded that from brain cancer, which is super sad. But he lives on in that song, so it has some special mystical vibe to it. And my favorite songs are the ones where it feels like some little magic got into it, and it definitely feels special. So that's probably my favorite. Or the last song on the album is called Paradise, and I wrote it for that girl you can see in the background. Can you wave? She's embarrassed. There we go. And that's all live instruments, which I really like, and it's like heavy Beatles inspired, and I think it's the best song I've ever done. So that one I like a lot. And there's a big, huge saxophone solo that lasts like 40 seconds or something at the end. It's the big climax to the album. So
Yeah. No, that's a great song. There's so many good ones on here. I think Trust was one of my favorites.
Oh, nice. That was my producer's baby. He really loved that. We kind of go back and forth. Like, we do some 50-50, or I'd let him run away with one, or vice versa.
Yeah.
That was his project, so I'll have to tell him that you like it.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's all about that collaboration, but there's some times where you can't equally be. I mean, you are both equally a part of the song, but sometimes somebody just like likes it more. That's their vibe. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I also really liked Thorns.
Oh, really? That's cool.
We're getting into spooky season, and it just gave me this really cool, like, sneaky vibe. I loved it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of a raw one. I think we, I shouldn't say this, but it doesn't really matter. We found a vinyl in like one of my producer's friends' apartments, and it was like old movie soundtrack or something. And we sampled it, and then the session crashed and we could never open it. So we just had this like rough bounce of the beat, and we just still used it, and it's kind of a cool one.
That's cool. I love stuff like that because it's unique, and it's like you have a story behind it too. It's not just something that like, it took you 2 seconds. Like it was a whole thing,
Yeah, they usually all are. I'm sure everybody feels the same way about theirs.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Yeah.
Really cool. So that's coming out this Friday.
Yeah.
And are you playing any shows soon?
I'm moving down to LA actually in a few weeks. So
great.
yeah. But the plan is to come play a big show up here. So
the plan is to do what?
I really want to play a big show in the spring up here. So there's this outdoor amphitheater near Snohomish, like Mill Creek area, and I kind of want to put on like a little festival of some kind. So yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you find your inspiration for like the sounds that you use? Like I have a hard time like pigeonholing somebody into a genre. So what would you describe music as, or like how would where would you place it?
I like to call it mystical pop music. That's my genre that I invented. Man, I draw from a lot of different. It's funny, like something will just pop up on my phone, or like I'll just remember an artist, and then we'll go to the studio and somehow it'll come out in the song. So like each song, I mean, Mac Miller, XXX Tentacion for Thorns, I would say. The Beatles a lot. Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, got a Def Leppard shirt on. Or just like weird random artists. There's this artist named Spooky Black who has really haunting vocals. Yeah.
It's cool.
All those just creep in, I could go through it song by song and definitely be like, this is this, this, and this. And you'd be like, oh, that is Post Malone.
Yeah, right. Like, and sometimes though, the influences are so like nuanced or detailed, these little things that you would have to explain it to me. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's what that reminds me of. And it's really interesting that you say the Beatles too, because I don't feel like I feel the same energy, but I wouldn't like that wouldn't be the first thing that I would think of. And I think magical pop is definitely like the best way to describe it. Like, especially with the sax, there's just something so special about like a brass sound, and that the fact that you're playing it like live, it's not a computer. So I think that's probably why I really like the tracks that you have where they stand out with the sax. So what decided you moving to LA, if I can ask?
I've always wanted to go, and then she got a job in the Pacific Palisades, and so we kind of just decided we were gonna just send it and go in the sunshine for a couple years and see what happens. So
that's funny about you like enjoying the weather while we have it. Obviously you're gonna enjoy it up here differently than down in LA, but you're already going to really good weather, so that's exciting.
Yeah, and obviously like the Northwest is like hard to beat, you know. It's stunning in the
Yeah.
summer. I'll be back, and yeah, like I said, anyone on here, if you want to add me, I will add you back, and you can always DM me. And that's how Toya and I got introduced, is we were just musicians and we saw each other's stuff and liked it, and that's how you grow, and you never know whose show bill you'll end up on that way. So
Yeah. Or
good.
collaborating with. I think that's what's so fun about the musical community. It's like you never know like who you're going to start working with, or um, I don't know, just what kind of opportunities can come like through other people, like not necessarily direct, but like, oh, I saw you on so and so's page or whatever it is, you know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Danny, just so that we can make sure the audience gets any questions in? They've been a little quiet today. I think everybody's a little tired from the long weekend.
For sure. I know, and I'm happy.
I would ask, what is something that you would like, if you can share like one of your biggest struggles that you've had with music, and maybe like how you have overcome that, or how you've incorporated it into like, you know, how you learned from it.
Yeah, I guess getting it done. Getting it done is the hardest, because you have to put in so many thousands of dollars and so many hours, and unless you can produce it all yourself, you can't do it alone.
Mm.
So you just have to keep trying. That's why it took so long. It's like if you believe in it enough, you just can't stop, and you just have to finish it and just keep going. That was probably the biggest struggle, was just getting it done.
We got a question here from Mind Adjacent. What's your favorite part of production? It's a great question. Thank you.
Question, man. I really like writing. I'll usually light some candles and some incense, and really try to bring in energy into it. And when you catch it, it feels like super sacred, and I feel really lucky. Like I feel like I was gifted some, you know, like something will just come out and you'll be like, wow, that's amazing. That's my favorite part. Or yeah, when it comes together in the studio is more of a grind, but yeah, being in the studio and adding instruments and having it come together is pretty special too. But I think writing is my favorite. I've been writing poetry since I was a kid, so yeah, that's usually the most spiritual experience. Plus, I'm always alone when I'm writing, usually. So
I hear that a lot too. I mean, even when I read like books about writing, like Stephen King's, it's just writing is such a solitary process. And I think it's super important to like have that time to yourself and reflect and write. And then getting to like going from solo to like then having to go to the studio and produce it and collaborate with other people to get it made. It's just like, it's pretty neat how that happens, because it's like you write, so like you get both spectrums where you get to be like alone or have to be alone, because I don't think I could write music with other people as much, like, or like in the presence of other people, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. What about you? I mean, you typically write by yourself, but have you ever written a song with someone else, or?
yeah, my producer and we're at the point now where I'll bring in a song that's like 90% complete and be like, dude, I need you to help me fill in this line, and we'll really enjoy it. And that's a lot of the realizing when to push, when to hold on to control, when to let go. So yeah, we wrote a little bit together. He definitely helped a lot. But sometimes I'll come in with the full song and be like, this is what it is. We're doing it. But sometimes I'll bring in something and he'll be like, I don't know, man. Maybe you can do better. So, yeah, write alone, then bring it to someone you trust. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's great.
Sure. And Puff Bagwell said, yeah, that's literally it. Do it, complete, don't quit. And that's like, I watched a Kobe interview recently. He said, don't rest in the middle, rest at the end. And yeah, sometimes it takes years, but there's still more I want to do with the album, you know. You guys probably feel the same way, but I want it to be on vinyl. I want it to do well. So I got a lot more to do.
What about music videos? Are you thinking about that?
Yeah, there's a lot I want to do for sure. I have lots of ideas. It's kind of like financially, it's like, where do you put your money? Where do you put your time? When do you push and when do you let go? And These days it's like you can film it on your phone, just like we're doing now. I mean, are you using your phone?
Yeah.
Are you using?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using my phone. It's like, so we're kind of lucky. So yeah, hopefully once the album comes out, the next step will be like lots of music videos.
Cool. Yeah, because it's just so visually stunning to me in terms of like I can see like the effects and all that kind of thing. So like not that it has to be a big production, but
Yeah.
I think it would make like even a very mundane like scene look sound and feel like super cool. Like
Yeah.
that's just the vibe to it. What would you say has been like one of your proudest moments in music so far? Besides that.
Sure. I was kind of lucky, but I played saxophone on a beat that Mac Miller ended up using.
Super cool.
And Future's on it too. It's kind of like a hidden gem. It's called Earth. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I played saxophone at Burning Man. That was pretty fun. Played the Neptune in November because of the martial law band. They brought me on, which was cool.
I was mad I missed it.
Yeah, it was a good show. Yeah, but like,
I think the sound cut off. I don't mean to interrupt.
could you hear me? Did you lose me?
I did lose you. Can you repeat it?
Yeah, one of my best friends got married like a few weeks ago, and I got to perform in the middle of his wedding, and like it was by the ocean, it was sunny, we had like the lit up stage and stuff, and that even though it was smaller, it was the best show ever just because everyone was dancing and it made an actual lasting impact and ripples in the universe, you know? So that was cool. I liked that one a lot.
That was really cool. Yeah, it was really special. I saw a little bit of the footage that you posted or a picture. It looked so fun.
It was a blast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So with you moving to LA, do you have any big goals or like things? Obviously, you want to do a lot with the album, but is there anything like specific that you want to do in LA? Like, I don't know, a specific venue or anything that's like a big goal for you?
It'd be fun to play like some of the old ones if they're still there. Like, is the Whiskey A Go Go still there? I don't know. It's like where the Doors started. Yeah, I'd like to play the Hollywood Bowl. That'd be a great LA venue to play. And
sure.
you know, eventually I want to do stadium tours, but just keep trying. That's all you can do. So we'll see. I wouldn't mind getting picked up as a saxophone player for little tours and stuff too, but yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So just double checking, does anybody have any other questions? And trying to think like, so what would you say? I find a lot of your stuff like that you post is very visually stunning. Why have you focused so much like on visuals when it comes to like your Instagram? Like I see a lot of really cool photos and really great like ideas and concepts. Where did that come from? Or like, how did that start?
Oh man, definitely from the photographers I work with, I would say.
Cool.
I did modeling for like many years. Tried to make it as a model, realized that the universe was like, no, don't do that. So I don't know. I really always been very visual. Like you said, my songwriting's pretty visual. So, yeah. But a lot of that's from, you can click my Instagram and see who's doing the work. But Alexis Tobin, she goes by Lexi. She's just is amazing. And so I was like, hey, can we do a shoot for this album? And she's like, yeah, we're going to make vines wrapping up you with flowers blooming and stuff. I was like, okay, sounds great. So,
yeah.
I have a lot of talent and stuff, but a lot of it comes from the people I work with, especially like my producer and stuff. So, and that took years, you know, I worked with people that weren't very good and charged me more, and got to find your tribe, you know, just got to keep searching and manifesting and just doing the best you can. Yeah. It's like, how long have you been doing music for? Toya?
Ooh, like, so I've been songwriting for about 15 plus years, but I just really had this really bad stage fright. So I performed like at like open mics when I was younger and then just stopped for a really long time. So I just started performing again and doing like these live streams for about a year and a half now. Um, but yeah, I would say definitely I've had so many great people like encourage me. I just don't think like mentally that I was ready to be super involved with music or at least share what I was doing with other people.
Sure.
I'm sure you have songs like that too, where it's just maybe like you hold on to it for like a little bit longer because it's just, I don't know if it's like it doesn't feel ready or if it doesn't feel right or if I'm just too nervous about like what people would think about it and things like that.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's a journey, right? It's definitely
Yeah.
a long, and you know, there's like directors who make movies and they're like, I've been trying to make this movie for 15 years.
Yeah.
So, and Martin said, it's good to have people with imagination around you. Definitely. Those are the best people. People that when you tell them an idea, they get excited, which is kind of rare. A lot of people who are more practical tend to shoot things down.
Yeah.
So it's good to have those people that are just about it.
Mm-hmm. I
For
like
sure.
I personally like that approach better too, because sometimes even if you say like yes and you don't know how to execute it,
Yeah.
eventually like you're gonna find a way or you're gonna realize this isn't gonna work, but let me try something else. And now I know that this doesn't work this way, or you know, that I don't like doing these kinds of things. So I think it's always like, yeah, good to try. Just just say yes, just try it out, and then if it doesn't work, you know, at least you tried it or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Might as well just, you know, just do, yeah, bring your imagination to life and try to make it happen. Because a lot of people in the world have done that. So there's no reason why you can't.
for sure.
It's a gift shared, yes, indeed.
Yeah, music is just, there's something magical about it. And especially when you are able to capture that magic and then make it real for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like those are the most special moments, and they can come from hearing a song produced like on the radio. They can come from hearing a song live and seeing somebody perform it. So there's just so many ways that like music can be like, I don't know, just this, it doesn't hit everybody the same way, I think, because I've also I've also been friends or like, you know, talk to people who like music isn't really their thing, but there is something still about like rhythm and beat that does get to people even if they don't really, you know, aren't actively pursuing listening to music or things like that. But yeah.
Definitely. Everybody's heard music and loves music, and even babies dance to music. So,
Nice. Well,
yeah.
trying to think of any other questions that I have. I'm really excited for this album to come out so that I can like share all my favorite songs and not on the sneaky link here. But so 17 tracks in all. Whoop, don't want to play it.
Thanks,
Um,
Piper. Piper said, thank you for sharing your story and your journey. Excited for your future in LA. Thank you very much. Yeah, I feel like we all have a story and a journey, so it's nice for you to take the time to even listen to mine. That's for sure.
oh yeah, this is the stuff that I love, and especially getting to hear the album before everybody else did was super cool too. But even
Yeah.
if I hadn't, yeah, there is just something about like your music that is fun and exciting, and it's like funny because I would think if you really want to like put it into marketing terms, it feels like more summery, but this like summer vibe can last all year round. Like
Yeah,
it's about the lights, I think, for me.
for sure. Definitely tried to get it out in the summer, but been trying to get it out for years. So it's like, yeah, keep working hard, but not too hard. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, it's coming out now, so I'll be grateful and relieved when it's out, and we'll see what it does.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll be sharing that on my socials and then all of your other pages, wherever you can stream it. So
Yeah.
It is, and oh, the other cool thing is this is your debut album. Like you haven't done any other long albums like this, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, yeah, lots of mixtapes growing up and lots of little projects, but this is the first big good one. This is technically my debut album. It's crazy because I've been doing music for a while.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's really neat too, because everybody, especially as a musician and an artist, focuses on different things that drives them. Some people spend more time with performance, some people spend more time on the songwriting process, some people like the production more, like the visuals, and do like crazy music videos and things like that. So I think it's really cool to see how each artist like creates their own space with their music. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mind Adjacent. Appreciate it. It's been a while. It's been a journey. It's just like
Yeah.
Toya said, take a break from performing. Like, you guys probably all feel the same way. It's like anything in life, you can take long breaks and go back to it, you know? I don't think Van started painting till he was like in his 30s or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, never too late.
No, it really isn't. Anybody who's watching this and think like you're too old or too young for whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just a number, and it just matters about your passion and your drive, and like cousin Bad Habit said, you know, not giving up. You just got to keep going. So,
Yep, exactly. And that's what the album's about.
very cool. Bloom. There is that really cool quote. I don't know who said it, but it's like bloom where you're planted. And there's another one, oh, that I heard the other day. It's just popping in my head now. But sometimes when you think you're buried, you haven't been buried, you've been planted.
Yeah, I heard that one the other day too. That's a good. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to share this when it's totally out and for everybody. So everybody mark your calendars for this Friday. It's a coming. And yeah, I hope you have a great time moving to LA. That sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of work still.
Yeah, will be. But yep, I'll rest at the end, not in the middle. So
yes, there you go. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, everybody who showed up today, and for asking such great questions and you know, having this dialogue and discussion with us. Like Danny said, reach out, DM anytime. Just let's talk music and
please follow me. I'll follow you back. And if you guys ever have any questions or need hookup with like photographers or help or advice, I'll give you the best I can and connect you. So,
yay.
Yeah.
And then your username is I am Danny Kosmo, Kosmo with a K.
Yep, Kosmo with a K. Exactly.
Well, all right. Cool. Well, everybody have a great week, and I'll see you next week with another artist. And yeah, super excited. Have a great week, everybody.